I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let me tell you, it's we're still not in 2026 yet, so it's like, God. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 579th episode of the Political Spotlight. We are officially in what I refer to as no man's land. It's just this horrible time we all experience. You all experience it. It's after Christmas, but before New Year, when nothing's happening. Sometimes people are going back to work, but not really. Even if they're going back to work, they're not getting anything done. Nobody really cares about doing anything. It's like this awful pause that we have at the end of each year. It's like the worst week of any year is the last week of the year. And you got to go through it to get through it, but it sucks. It's like all this crazy build up to Christmas, Christmas, and then it's just let down and over and done. And now it's like, put all this crap away. I don't want to see it. I'm ashamed, And what really pisses me off is there's only like 35 of you here right now. If I've got to be here miserable, you've got to be here. And so I've got to retrain people to come back to the show. We've only been doing this for like 10 years. I've always got to retrain people after the holidays. All right, you got to come back and start watching shit again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I know it sounds like I'm not in a good mood. There's an old podcast theory that says you're not supposed to be negative in the first 5 minutes or you'll run people off. Well, hey, I'm glad that we're all here. And everybody's doing well. I hope you all had a good Christmas. Hope you did well with that. And Charlize is listening from Maine. Got some live lobster tail up that way. Hey, so a couple things. We're not going to do much tonight. So I'm, sometime in since about April, my grandparents have shifted to, they're still my grandparents, but now they're kind of like my toddlers. And they're like two toddlers just running around getting into crazy shit and causing total damage and just chaos. And when one of them gets sick, they get the other one sick. And then as soon as the other one gets over it, then they re-get the other one sick. So we've finally gotten over COVID. They got over COVID that my grandmother started out with like 2 weeks ago. And then in the middle of her, she finally gave it to my grandfather. He stayed COVID free for like several days, but then he finally got it. Now my grandmother was literally not yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. Friday, she was like back to good health. She was eating. Things were going well. Everything was wonderful. And then Saturday, I go over and instantly it's just like blah, blah, blah. Oh no, she knows what I'm talking about. They're not even here. So they either have the norovirus, which we'll know tomorrow morning if it's the norovirus or if it's the flu. Neither one are good. But we would rather have the norovirus than the flu because the norovirus is over in 24 to 48 hours. The flu hangs on a little bit more, but yeah, throwing up, diarrhea, all that stuff. So I had to get the hell out of Dodge. So we made sure that they're okay, got the medicines that they need, and I am monitoring. Hey, look, let me tell you what Santa Claus brought me. Let me show you what Santa Claus brought me. I'll get to the thing from last night here in just a bit that happened in Muncie. Yes. We will talk about that. We got some real stuff to talk about here in just a few minutes, I promise you. So tell me how you know somebody is a crazed OCD crazy fanatic when they're excited when this comes to you. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was at the hospital the other day with my grandmother, it's about 2 weeks ago, I was sitting there and the doctors, when they would come in and they would like deal with her, they would go over to this counter and they would open this drawer, and in this counter, they would pull out this purple bottle, and then they would pull out this little wipe here. Now, oh God, smells like heaven, man. I'm telling you, good Lord. Ooh, I could smell it. I love it so much. It says, "This is not a wipe for your body." How wrong they are. It is a wipe for my body. It's also a wipe for literally everything else that I'm in contact with. So I got it out and played with it while I was at the hospital, and I was like, oh, I like this. And my grandma was like, ask him if you could take that with you. And I'm like, well, are you kidding me? So what I did, wear gloves when using. What are you talking about? I'm rubbing it on my skin. Dude, what are you kidding me? I looked this up. So this is I took a picture of this, and as soon as my ass got home, I ordered it. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I didn't just order the purple. It's kind of like Pokemon. I have to collect them all. I ordered the Santa cloth, which I thought was kind of cool. It says, no, don't do that. Look, I'm drinking it. Santa cloth, prime, large, active ingredients, ethyl alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, dimethyl ammonium chloride, effective against bacteria, drug resistant bacteria. No, listen, I'm being serious. I also have gloves. Those are in the other room. I got them for my we'll see you at the cancer center. No, listen. I have, my skin's pretty raw. No, I do wear gloves. So I got the really good powder-free gloves, and I got those for my gun cleaning kit. I got a gun cleaning kit, but I ordered this. This is the germicidal disposable wipes, Okay. No, yes, Jacqueline Fisher. Let me tell you there, Jackie. That's the one thing that I have not done. I have not used these as like what are they called? The dude wipes. Not wiped down the front, not wiped down the back. I'm a little bit smarter there. I feel like that would be a burn that I just, at this point in my stage, I could not deal with it. More likely that burn would cause me to have a major heart attack. So I got the purple kind. It says Prime. I love it. And I'm kidding, folks. I do wear gloves with it. I don't do that without. I don't use it. It's not a body wipe. It's a cleaning rag. I got the Santa Cloth Orange, which is just bleach, baby. That's all it is. Just bleach. God, it smells so good. I'll tell you. I love the smell of it. Woo! I know that's why Joe Tompkins, I said it's so great to order around this time because I wanted Santa Claus to bring me some Santa Cloths. So yeah, that's right. Okay. So here's this. Here's this. Hey, you keep me a room available. I love it. This is the bleach. Now look here. I also got this. This is the purple Santa Cloth Super. I don't know what the difference is. I don't even know how to say your name. How do we say this person's name? How do we say this name? Cortini? Is that right? Is that what you say? Is that Cortini? Cortini. If that's not how we say your name, please let me know. Can you tell me what the difference is between the colors? What I would like to do is just mix them all together and use them as one. Courtney. I guess Cortini. How stupid. That makes sense. Courtney. It's spelled like that. It's Cortini. I think I'm going to call you Cortini. I think that sounds better. Courtney. Okay, I get it. So yeah, we got this, and so I'm making sure that everything's wiped down. Yeah, it does. It does sound like a bad. I'm not mixing them. I'm using them for different things. So I'm cleaning off different areas, not mixing the stuff. I'm well ventilated. I do love the smell of it. Nothing in this world smells like this. Is like clean. I love it. So. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. Listen, we are in no man's land. That's what I always call this period between Christmas and New Year. Nothing happens. The city officials will be going back to work tomorrow. Although I talked to a couple of them Friday and yesterday, and a couple of them were like, I don't understand what the point of going back tomorrow is. Most people there won't be working, and so what's the point of me going in? And I'm like, yeah, that's what everybody's problem is. Everyone's like, well, no one else will be there, so I shouldn't go in. And that's nuts. Yeah, Courtney, I use them to clean off like things that, I use them to clean off like the countertop, my desk area. Use them to clean off my. I use them to clean off these I've been at my grandparents' house where they either have the flu or norovirus, and so I had been over there, and so when I came home, I was like, I'm gonna do a wipe down really quickly, and I wiped all these things down so I don't get, hopefully, whatever the hell it is that they've got there. Yeah, right. I tell you, the medical field, the police, fire, EMS, no rest for the wicked. That's how that goes. So if you've got business in your municipal governments, if you've got business with your local city government, your county government, your town government, wherever you may be, in any of the 92 counties throughout Indiana, and honestly, anywhere, you probably can get service tomorrow if it's easy. If you're going to pay a fine, going to pay a ticket, something like that, you could probably do some easy things, pay your bill or something like that. But if you got something really difficult, the big people won't be in. You've got tomorrow and Tuesday, and then they're gone again Wednesday, Thursday. And then here's the thing. None of them are going back to work on Friday. So they'll work like tomorrow, Tuesday, and then the next day back we will see them will be on next Monday, a week from tomorrow. So that's when it goes back to normal. And here Alva is. I'm going to tell you, I've seen your big collection, Alva, of messages, and I've not been ditching you. I swear to God, I've been dealing with grandparents' chaos and crisis. And so that's what I've been doing. I did mark down some stuff, and I've been going back through the Board of Works and looking. I'm going to go through your messages when we get done with the show. Alva says here, where's this? I was surprised to see the claims from last week were posted to the controller's page on the 26th of December. That's very interesting because they've not been doing that. They've been doing some really weird things there. We are going to get to the bottom of what's going on there. I have reached out to a couple people who are supposed to be looking into it, but we're basically, as far as anything goes of any real magnitude of anything getting done or anything happening, we're done till the 5th. Speaking of the 5th, it's very bad right now. As far as what's going on, the flu is really bad. There's a really big super flu going around. It's causing people to have to go to the hospitals. And of course, here's the thing. There's nothing they can do at the hospital for you. Like, if you're just sick, don't go to the hospital. I mean, if you're just throwing up or whatever, you've got the norovirus or you've got the flu. You go to the hospital if you're dehydrated, if you're not being able, if you've got chest pains, obviously, if you've got shortness of breath. You don't just go to the hospital because you've got diarrhea or you're getting sick, and then everybody goes out there and people who aren't sick have to be out there with family. It's a disaster. It's very bad. So yeah, it's going around. I can't wait till we're done with all of this. It's freaking, I can't stand it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm hoping that it's been the I don't know what I'm hoping for. If it's norovirus, she'll be done with it and he'll have it and they'll be done with it, 24, 48 hours, they'll be done, but we will see. Okay, so talking about Muncie and what's going on here with I got to get my mouse plugged in soon on this other computer. Looking ahead to Muncie. Looking ahead to Muncie here, I want to put this up. We've got this. They've released the meetings for the city council for all of this upcoming next year. So the council meeting dates, for those who are so inclined or who care, are on the left-hand column. Okay, so there will be one. These are Mondays. Generally, they should be Mondays, unless there's. Let me pull this up here and take a look along with us. So yeah, Monday the 5th of January, Monday the 2nd of February, Monday the 2nd of March, Monday the 6th of April, Monday the 4th of May. They're all Mondays. June the 1st, July 6th, August 3rd, September 14th, so late in the month because the first Monday of September falls on Monday the 7th, and that's Labor Day. So then it's not till the next Monday, which is the 14th. Then Monday, October the 5th, November the 2nd, December the 7th, and then 2027, good Lord, January 4th. And then, of course, the filing deadlines for all of those are over here on the right-hand side. That means in order for something to appear on the agenda for January 5th, it needed to be filed by December 22nd. In order for something to be on the June 1st, it needed to be filed by May 18th. And so you can follow that down. I'll post this all on social media so people can have this. You can find this at the city's website. It'll all be there so people can find this and see this if they are so inclined to look at things like that. Those are important for people to know. They do not have the agenda up for next meeting. They do not have that up yet. And I'm going to answer that question about staying warm here in just 1 second. They don't have the the agenda up for January yet. I don't know why. I don't know why they have this. But they do have up the items that will be discussed. And so they have the minutes from last meeting. Okay. So, for those that want to look through the meetings from December 1st, they have those up. That's there. And that's what that is. They then have Ordinance 1-26. And the first ordinance for the year starts out with an ordinance for additional appropriations edit. Okay. Very, very interesting here what this is. So we'll pull this over here and take a look on this on the big page here. So I can blow this up for you guys. Okay, an ordinance for additional appropriations edit, whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to add appropriations for the continued operations of the city, Muncie edit, and whereas it has been determined that the city of Muncie edit will require additional appropriations with Fund 296 edit fund in the amount of $900,000. Okay, this is very interesting. This is very interesting here what they're taking a look at. Okay, it's been determined that the cash balance of 12/31/24 was $1,837,616.82. So they're going to move $900,000 out of that, and they are moving it in for other services and charges. Okay, well, that's something that I would gripe about. Now, fortunately, they don't just leave it there. Now, we obviously see that we've got Dale Basham is the one who signed it. Isn't that nice? Now, we can come up here and we can take a look at what they're going to do with this. The proposed uses of these appropriations are as follows. The Muncie Arts and Culture Council, $10,000. Community Center to be determined, $500,000. Okay. Fireworks, $65,000. I think they're going down on that. Continuing. The Hub, $125,000. Muncie Community Schools funding for family navigators, $100,000. The YWCA annual payments 4 of 5 capital campaign, $100,000. Total appropriation requested, $900,000. I am assuming that there will be right here you see it. There will be a public hearing on this, which will start 15 minutes before the regular meeting. So Monday's city council meeting will begin at 7. However, at 6:45, there will be a public hearing on this appropriation. If anyone is inclined to come and talk about this, give your thoughts, give your feelings, yada, yada, yada. So that's the first ordinance for the year, Ordinance 1-26. And there that bees. Okay, now Ordinance 2-26. Again, let me pull this up for the big screen here and get this here so you guys can see it. Ordinance 226. Now, I don't really know what we've got going on here because they're calling it an ordinance, but it says being a resolution of approval to supplement and amend the text of Muncie City subdivision regulations regarding Article 5 improvements and requirements. So we're going to have to get some clarification because I don't know if this is an ordinance or if this is a resolution. Because of what it is, let me see here. This is, okay, Jerry Dishman. So who the hell knows what this is? It looks like it's a resolution. So they need to, I don't think that this would be correct. I don't think that this would be Resolution 226. I think it would probably be Resolution 126 because it's a resolution, so it wouldn't be following the last one. We'll have to see what this is. Whatever this is going to finally be called at the end, and by the time we get there, this is up there. It will be there. Okay, so who knows what this is going to be? Why, it says the state's enabling act for planning and zoning empowers the city council of Muncie, Indiana, the board of commissioners, Delaware County, Indiana, to adopt subdivision regulations and to provide amendments to said regulations as deemed necessary from time to time. The state's enabling act also provides for amendment to the subdivisions regulations and further promote the health, safety, and general welfare. The current provisions require updating and clarification. The Delaware Metropolitan Plan Commission has given legal notice of public hearing. Okay, let's see here. Current conditions and character of current structures and use of each district, the most desirable use for which land in each district is adopted, and conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction, and responsible growth for and development. Let's see here. This is about sidewalks is what I remember. So this is about sidewalks in different areas. So that's that, and that will be discussed there at the meeting. So I don't really have much of an issue with that. It's the third ordinance that I find to be interesting. I want to ask if anybody remembers this. Let's take a look at this third ordinance and see if you guys recall this at all. If anybody recalls this, okay. Let me blow this up so you guys can see this. This was filed on December 19th, and it was filed by Nora Powell, okay? And this is an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending Section 32.39 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances, prerequisites to action on ordinance/resolution, okay? Want anybody to tell me if you recognize this. This is whereas Chapter 32, Division 2 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances sets rules for the council, whereas the Common Council has established requirements for the filing of ordinances or resolutions prior to being such eligible for consideration by the Common Council, whereas the Common Council wished to amend those requirements to ensure that any ordinance or resolution placed on the agenda for consideration by the Common Council has been approved by a member of the Common Council, and now therefore it be ordained that the Common Council of the City of Muncie, Indiana, as follows. Section 3239 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances reads as follows. Prerequisites, actions, and ordinances resolution. The city clerk shall not accept for filing any ordinance or resolution to be considered by the Common Council unless and until it has been approved by a written signature thereon by a member of the Common Council and has been approved for form by a city attorney or the attorney for the Common Council. Okay. To ensure that the approval required in subsection A has been obtained, each ordinance or resolution shall be filed in person or by electronic mail by the member of the Common Council that signed the ordinance or resolution, or by the attorney that approved the form of the ordinance or resolution that is being filed. Each ordinance and resolution submitted which conforms to the requirements of subsection A and B shall be given the identifying mark and placed on the agenda for the first regular council meeting occurring at least 14 days from the date of filing. The 14th day prior to the next regular council meeting is a holiday or the day on which the clerk's office is closed. The ordinance or resolution shall be placed on the agenda for the next regular council meeting if filed on the first day thereafter if the clerk's office is open. The city clerks shall distribute the ordinance or resolution to members of the common council at least 7 days prior to the meeting at which the ordinance or resolution will be first considered. Each ordinance or resolution filed in accordance with this section shall be eligible for consideration at the next regularly scheduled council meeting. No ordinance shall be adopted on the same day or at the same meeting that it is introduced, except by a unanimous consent of the common council, if there are present and voting at least 2/3 of all elected members of the common council. The consent of a simple majority of those present voting shall be required to suspend the rules of council for any purpose. Any ordinance or resolution may be amended at any point in the proceedings by a majority vote, and the amendment shall not need to comply with the filing requirements of this section. Any ordinance or resolution except ordinances amending a comprehensive zoning code may be withdrawn by consideration upon the oral request of the member of the common council that approved the signed ordinance or the resolution for filing. Ordinances to amend comprehensive zoning code may only be withdrawn by the applicant within the consent of the majority of the members of the common council present at the time of the withdrawal. The date an ordinance is officially brought before the common council is the date the ordinance is introduced to the common council at a regular special meeting. No ordinance or resolution affecting a special department shall be adopted unless and until the head of that department, a specific department, or his designee appears before the common council to answer any inquiries the common council may have regarding the ordinance or resolution. Now that is new. They put that in after the big debacle. Okay. They did that because they after the whole big ordeal with this ordinance last time, then they wanted to change the department for the human rights, I think, and they did so without having a department head present, and that was a big ordeal back and forth. It was insane. So this is basically, I think J is new, and A is what they changed. A and B is what they changed in the last time. So this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage by the common council of the city of Muncie. So this has been put forward by Nora. It was put forward on December 19th, and it's going to be interesting. Again, this should be a 9-0 vote. There's no reason that this should not pass 9-0. There's legitimately not a good or sane reason to vote against this ordinance. This ordinance must be voted on. It makes perfect sense. This stops any kind of bullshit like happened a couple months ago, and it just makes perfect sense. Anybody can put forth an ordinance. Anybody can put forth an ordinance. Any council member, the mayor, any attorney, Shireen Wegley, any police officer, any citizen. And the way that we go about it is we contact the city council attorney or the city attorney or a city council person, and we say, hey, I've got this idea. I want to put this forward. And then I can have it just an idea in my mind, and I can have them work on it, or I can sit down and write it out as long as I do it in the correct way. If I then take it to the council member and have the council member sign off on it, and I have an attorney, either being the city attorney or the city council attorney, sign off on it, and then I give it to that council person for that council person to take to the clerk's office and file, or that council person can email it in. I can still do everything as a citizen that I've always had the ability to do. The only difference is the council person now turns it in. I've got no problem with that, because if you've got a council person who's sponsoring you, they won't have a problem to turn it in. They'll turn it in. So this still allows you to turn it in. And it was, Alva's right. It was a 4-5 vote. And it was a ridiculous vote. It was bullshit. It was 4 yeses, 5 noes. And the reason it's 5 noes is because there used to be 3 Republicans on the council that would answer strictly, solely, only to Dan, the mayor. And then Jerry Dishman and Brandon Garrett flip-flopped from Democrat to Republican. And in order to get their seat at the table, apparently felt they needed to do the work of the mayor, and they voted against it. And Brandon gave a dumbass reason for why he voted against it. It made no sense. It was an ignorant argument. And here's the thing. He's either going to have to vote against this. Listen, I'll be honest. I think this thing has to pass 8-1. I think Brandon has to vote against it. And the reason I say that is if he doesn't, he will be made to look like a complete bitch. I want to make sure that you guys are clear on that. He will look like an absolute loser because of the way that he pushed back on this and argued for it like a complete idiot. So, if he caves just 2 months later and votes for this, he will have no backbone. Yeah, right, Alva, that's correct. Because here's the thing, and it's one of these things, and Casey Daniels and I talked about this at the last thing. It's one of these things that people can be like, well, there was a good argument and I changed my mind and it made sense. But that's like me saying this. That's like me saying, Brandon, you have to drink water or you're going to die. If you don't drink water, you're going to dehydrate and not live. And he's like, yeah, but I'm a man. I don't want to drink water. I don't need to drink water. And he gives me this great big argument against it. And then the next couple of days, someone else is like, hey, anybody in here that doesn't drink water, it's not going to be good for you. You really need to drink water. And he doesn't say anything and he keeps his mouth shut. And then a couple days later, someone else comes along and he's like, hey, you guys really need to drink water. If you, whoever does not drink water, you're not going to live. Like, you got to drink water. And then 3 months later, someone else is like, okay, well, we're going to give everybody water. And Brandon's like, okay, I'm going to drink water. And it's like, wait a minute. Why? First of all, you don't argue against something so basic. So basic. You just don't do that. It doesn't make sense. But if you do, you can't change your mind because 2 people got up and said the same thing that everybody was saying the night that you voted against it. It just shows how weak of constitution he would be. How weak, he doesn't have the ability to hold his argument against it. It can pass. It can pass 8-1. He can vote against it. That's how hard he argued against it last time. He needs to keep those same. He needs to be that hard against it this time. Then passing this is an acknowledgement of Dan Shireen's wrongdoing, which the spineless Republicans won't do. Sir Ballmond, I always love that name. Sir Ballmond, that's exactly. Here's the thing. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird because I think that the last couple of months we will have won over like Jeff Green. I think he will vote for it this time. I think Dale Basham could. I don't know. He could be weird, but I don't think Jerry will vote no. I think that this thing passes. I don't think it passes 9-0. It needs to. It should. It should absolutely pass 9-0. But then again, it should have. Just the fact that for it to pass 9-0 now when it didn't 3 months ago is going to be ridiculous. It's going to look stupid. It's going to look stupid. And Alva, that is very true. He's a lame duck walking. Absolutely. That is very true. So the agenda's not out. We will continue to follow along with this. I'll post all these. I'll post the agenda as soon as it's up. As soon as things are out, we'll get that posted, and we will let you know. I do want to make mention that normally I don't do like police blotter things or law enforcement related things. It's just not my bag here. I live that life. Having been a police officer, I'm out of that. This is a political show. But this is very interesting. So last night in Muncie, there was a shooting down on 29th Street, which honestly was like pretty close to kind of where I was, down on the south side. There was a shooting in Muncie, and it amazingly, Muncie's been having a lot of shootings here lately. But I've got to give the police credit where the credit is due, and I think, in my opinion, this credit goes to the men and women that make up the backbone of the police department, the patrolmen, the patrolwomen, the detectives. Okay. Because I'm not giving this credit to, say, like the leadership of the department. I'm giving this to the men and women that are working the road and that are getting the job done. Okay. That's who I'm giving the credit to, because they've been out pounding the pavement and doing the work. The main reason that I'm talking about this really at this point, and it's not like it was a big deal. The situation's been oops, hold on here. I guess it's just me talking. I don't need ears, but it just sounds weird all of a sudden when I yank it out. Give me a second here. Damn it. The problem is with that, I don't think that this is going to be a big 2A case in the same way, and I'll explain to you why here in a second. So here's the picture of what went on down that way. Here's the house. It's been circled up by the police here. Oh, let me get rid of this thing. And so there you got everything there. It is what it is. There's the picture. So I was paying attention to this, obviously. And what's funny about this is, so there was a bunch of people immediately who came out and they were saying this was a home invasion and it was good on the homeowners because they shot the intruder. And everybody was like going, yay, that's a good job. And then there were people coming out and saying, no, that's not right. That's not happening at all. It was, he felt screwed over, and it was, I don't know what all they're saying nonsense. And they were talking about the guy that got shot, and they were saying like he was such a good guy. I'm going to be clear. I don't know any of these people. I don't care about him. They have nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with them. Live your life. Be happy. Don't hurt anybody else. If you're hurting somebody else, you deserve what you get. It is what it is. Okay. Well, the police department well, the Star Press put out an article, and it's changed throughout the day. The article, let me tell you this first. So the police department put out a press release earlier, and they put this out about 4 hours ago. And the police press release goes like this: on December 27th, 2025, officers from the Muncie City Police Department responded and began investigating a shooting in the 1100 block of East 29th Street. There was one male discovered on scene that had been shot. The adult male shot at this location is deceased and has been identified as 28-year-old Marcus Brown Jr. Okay. This is an ongoing investigation by the police department. Information obtained during this investigation substantiates that Brown forced his way into the residence while armed. The residents fired a gun at Brown. Brown was transported to the hospital where he was declared deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. The resident, 33-year-old Daniel Songer, was arrested for felony obstruction of justice and felony unlawful carrying of a handgun. Once again, this is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information, please contact the Muncie Police Detectives Division at 765-747-4867 or the Muncie Police Dispatch at 765-747-4838. And this was put out by the Deputy Chief of Police, Melissa Criswell. Okay, then earlier in the day, a video started floating around, and everybody was saying this is video of what happened at the scene. Now, my very first thing when I saw this video floating around on social media was, has anybody given this to the law enforcement? Like, you know, that's my initial thought, because it's just weird when you start seeing a handful of weirdly connected people sharing this, what appears to be a Ring doorbell. And in the post, people are identifying this guy with a different name than what law enforcement's giving. So again, I don't know this. All right. The home looks very similar to the home. I'm very familiar with the home, pass it several times daily. It's just between going from my house on the north side to going to my grandparents' house out by Cowan. So I'm familiar with this house. It looks close to me. I'm going to show this video because it doesn't show anything. It doesn't show anything crazy violent, and it's been shown all over social media. So I'm going to show this. I am going to put this out, okay, with the caveat. I'm not 1,000% sure that this is even what happened last night. Maybe it is. Maybe this is something else. I believe it probably is. I don't have reason to believe otherwise. I just got this off of social media. So we're going to watch it, and then it's going to replay like 2 or 3 times. It's just real quick, okay? So let's take a look at this. Now, that happened really quickly. So the first thing is, everybody's on here talking about how the guys that busted in the door are really good guys. They're really good guys. They're really wonderful people. They approached a house that wasn't theirs under the cover of darkness with masks on their face and handguns out, with one of the big boys booting the door several times, busting it in and yelling police. Now, I've got to be really clear. From everything that I am hearing, the decedent was not a law enforcement officer. So yelling police and booting a door with a handgun like that doesn't, in my opinion, make for a very good guy. If I were sitting in there, in that house, I would have done the very same thing. The very same thing that the homeowners did. Okay. And like here, if I'm sitting here doing a video and they were booting, I would have just put my hand on this thing down here that I can't show you because YouTube will have a freak out. And I would have done this. I would have done this. I would have pulled this up and bang, bang. And the same thing would have happened. Okay. And that would have been that. So I get it. It's in every room in the house. We got you covered. So I get it. And I do applaud the homeowners for not being victims. And let me tell you, maybe those people were going there to just simply rob them and not hurt them. But we got no way of knowing that. They were carrying a gun. Maybe it was an airsoft gun. Maybe they were doing the John Dillinger thing and it was a gun carved out of soap. You know, look, I'm telling you, break into my house with a bar of soap shaved like a gun and see what happens. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Absolutely, Alva and Stumblefoot and everybody else. So I want to be very clear. I applaud the people in that house for not being victims. I watched a just an absolutely heartbreaking video from Kansas City, Missouri, just here right a couple days before Christmas, where 3 men broke into a house wearing UPS uniforms, knocked on the door, and they acted like UPS people. And when somebody answered the door, inside the residence, there was a mother, a father, a 21-year-old son, and then 2 like twin little boys, or a boy and a girl, but 2 small like toddlers. They were both in diapers. And the 21-year-old finally answered the door. And when he went outside, the UPS guy grabbed him by the back of the neck and let him back into the house, had a gun, and they took him in and they were robbing. Give me the money. Give us the money. And they got the woman up. They got the woman. She was barely dressed. They beat her on the head, threw her on the floor, so to get the money. She gave him some money. The dad was like standing back in the kitchen. And then just out of nowhere, they shoot the dad in the head, kill him right there in the in the kitchen. And no one knows that he's dead yet, but they heard the gun go off. The 21-year-old goes in. They kill the 21-year-old boy. The kids are playing in the living room. The little kid's trying to give one of the bad guys his toy, and the bad guy like pushes him out of the way, kind of. The mom's running in. The kids finally run into the back bedroom, and the mom runs into the back bedroom. They're like, "Give us the money! Give us the money!" And the mom literally says, "Where are my boys?" And the last words she says in this world are, "Where are my boys?" And the guy shoots her in the head, drops her right in the bedroom. Just absolutely heartbreaking. And leaves these toddlers in this house with these 3 dead bodies. Fucking monsters, man. It absolutely heart-wrenching. And one of the older toddler, I mean, they're both in diapers. One of the boys ran in with his mom who's dead. And one of the boys drags him out. The little boy goes in, the older of the 2 doesn't know what's going on, but knows something's wrong. And he drags that kid out by the leg. Thank God. I mean, these kids are going to be screwed up forever. It's just, what a horrible deal. But they killed these people. And so, shit like that's crazy. So, I don't know. Maybe these people were going there to rob them of money or drugs, or I don't know what the deal was. But maybe they were going to do that and then kill them all. So I applaud the homeowner in not becoming a victim. Now, let's talk about the big issue here. The big issue is the homeowner had a felony, and I don't know what the felony is. I don't know if there are people on here talking about being a felony or not felony. I don't know what his felony was. Haven't looked into it. Maybe I'll look into it later. Someone can tell me if they know or don't know, whatever. But he had a felony. Now, it's going to be a thing. Do you have what his felony was? Okay, let's see here. She pulled it up. Let me take a look. See, that's why Kate, if everyone's like, Kate's not a producer, Kate doesn't do anything. There's really only one person that says that, but where did you send that to, Kate? Let me get it in here. Oh, you sent it in the wrong. Okay, I was like, I can't see it. Oh, there she sent it. Sorry, that was my fault. Okay, wait, which one is this guy? There's a bunch of these. Which one is he?
So his middle name is Martin. So Danny.
So it's not the J.
Danny.
So I've got I've got a couple M Songers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. So we've got felony decided, felony pending. Okay. So, okay. We've got pending felonies for intimidation, battery resulting in moderate bodily injury, domestic battery by means of a deadly weapon, burglary resulting in bodily injury. Those are pending. So, legally, they don't count. Because you are innocent until you're proven guilty. So we'll take that off for just a moment. He has this is decided. This was decided in 2023. Felonies. Okay, so he was charged with domestic battery, but defendant has a prior conviction. Neglect of a dependent, strangulation, driving while suspended, criminal mischief, leaving the scene of an accident, operating while intoxicated. Those are a bunch of weird crimes together. Like I strangled somebody and then I drove drunk. Okay, so that's kind of a weird thing. Let's go down here and see what he was found guilty with or pled to or whatever. Okay. Oh, nope. So, what is this? So it's decided. But then it's got a date for. Okay. State by Deputy Prosecutor Adrian Perez, Jessica Griffin, defendants in person without counsel. Evidentiary hearing for this matter is now set for February 4th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Written notice of hearing date provided. So this is, I don't know why they're saying this is decided unless something else has happened, but it's got a date for 2 months from now. So I don't know why that's saying decided. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Okay, the second one then is Okay, then the other one is burglary resulting in bodily injury, domestic battery. So this dude's doesn't appear to be a good guy. Listen, chances are there are situations where good everyday American citizens are targeted and become victims, or defend themselves and don't become victims. A lot of times there are cases where your victim today is a suspect tomorrow. Your suspect today was a victim yesterday, and a bunch of bad guys are out here just victimizing each other. That does happen too. Now, whether he's committed burglary or battery or domestic battery or whatever, he doesn't deserve to be killed. Obviously, his kids or family doesn't deserve to be killed. I don't know who was in the house, who wasn't in the house. And then this is the age-old question, right? He's a felon, so we take away his right to possess a gun. The Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. Is that right? Is it wrong? What's the deal? You even though you're a felon, you have the right to defend yourself against being victimized in crimes, and I very much believe that. Do you have a right to defend yourself with a gun? Do you not have your right to defend yourself with a gun? I am a very ardent supporter of the Second Amendment, but I mean, that's a very bizarre question, and it's a difficult question that you got to tiptoe around. I just don't know. I don't know. I think this will be very interesting to see what happens here in this case, because look, and I'll say it to you like this also. I was just watching a YouTube two attorneys who were Second Amendment rights advocates, and they were both gun. One's a gunsmith, and one is an firearms instructor, and they were talking about this kind of very same thing. Meaning, if you got a gun and you're legal where you are, and you drive into another state where having the gun is illegal, and someone attacks you and you save yourself, or maybe you stop an active shooter situation, and you find yourself in trouble, and what do you do there? And one attorney said, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I would gladly take the felony if I saved myself from being killed. I saved my family from being killed. I'll take me to court. I'll deal with that. If I stop that situation there, I'll deal with all the fallout later. Let me stop the situation now. It's kind of like the situation of the kid down in Indianapolis who, when the active shooter thing happened, and he was carrying a Glock, and he was inside the mall, and he, shot like 10 rounds or 11 rounds, and he shot the guy, put like all but one round hit target, and he saved a bunch of lives, and everybody called him a hero. But then you've got the one or two freak politicians who are like, he should be charged too. He's the same as the bad guy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so, I think that he has, this is very similar there. You decide what happens at a later date, whatever. I think that this will be a situation where maybe the circumstances will be looked at, and maybe he will be given some favor. I don't know. This will definitely be an interesting situation to follow. And that'll be why was he charged with obstruction of justice? I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't cooperate with the investigation. There's many reasons you could be charged with that. I will have to see. I will reach out and get his probable cause affidavit and see. Listen, I'm giving him the upper hand. I'm giving him an attaboy for tonight, and saying, I'm glad that everybody on his end is alive, and it is what it is. So you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and this is definitely one of those FAFO situations. I definitely agree with that. So I don't know who was in his house. I don't know if there was a family. Don't know if he's got kids or what the deal is there. Maybe other people do. And I don't know what that situation is, but I know for a fact, even if someone wants to call him, a bad guy or whatever, I know that if there were innocents in his house, children, wife, mother, father, I don't know who was in that house, but, he saved their lives. So I think that has to be looked at. And, I think it's interesting. One of the strange things, girlfriend/wife and daughter were home in the same room. Okay. So, that's a pretty big thing. One of the interesting things here is, and I'm going to play this for you because I told you I'd play it a couple times because it goes quick. But they kick the door in. He goes through saying police. You hear some shots, and you see his accomplice leave. And as the accomplice leaves, he fires one gun into the house. So I hope they got that guy. I don't know. I've not heard anything about the second man, but I hope they get him, and I hope they charge him with attempted murder. What'll be interesting is the autopsy, because it'll be interesting if the homeowner shot this guy, but if his partner, while shooting blindly into the house, if he shot this guy, it'll be interesting to see which bullet killed him. Because what would totally be crazy here is if the homeowner shoots him, but only shoots him in the leg, shoots him in the arm, but it's his buddy shooting blindly that shoots him in the spine or something and kills him. That would be crazy. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to show you, because you're going to see as the guy's leaving, he fires blindly into the house. You can see it. Watch this. Different way so you guys, so I can, because I can't pause it there. Give me a second here. I'm gonna play this a different way for you so I can have control of it. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they both hit him. It's going to be very interesting to see what the autopsy says. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Okay, we're going to blow this up. And I want you, the area that you're going to be watching, look where my cursor is. I want you to be looking right down here by the screen. Okay, right here. Here we go. They go in. Okay, here we go slowly. He's getting shot. Now this guy's going to turn right here. Right there. See it? Did you see it go off? Right there. There's this guy's gunfire. You can see it right there. That's the perfect stop. Dude, if this... yeah, right, man. Why didn't he... I mean, it took him that many boots to the door. Right here, this is the perfect shot. I guarantee it would be shocking if this dude didn't hit his buddy. And you can see him blindly. Oh, that's so crazy to me. Because this dude very easily... This is very, very, very possible a serious shot if this guy hit his buddy. This is so crazy to me. So it'll be interesting to see what the autopsy says. That is an amazing picture. I'm gonna screenshot that. Okay. That's so wild. So we'll wait and see what happens with this. This will be an interesting case. And we'll keep you guys posted. Oh, let me show you some interesting information. Look what I filled out last night. You're right. So moving on, we'll keep you posted with what goes on. Moving on last night, I sat and took time to fill out this. See if anybody can tell what this is. You tell what that is? That's a CAN 37. And so I filled out my official paperwork. Ladies and gentlemen, there is my declaration of candidacy for precinct committeeman and or state convention delegate. I'm not running for a precinct committeeman because that race in my party is already over. That happened last year. But I am running for convention delegate for 2026. So I filled that out last night and have that ready to rock and roll. Going to go and get that notarized. Going to go and get that notarized as soon as the new year turns over and turn that in. And watch everybody's eyes pop out of their head. I'll be running for convention delegate from the 3rd district. So that's anybody that lives in the 3rd commissioner's district of Delaware County will absolutely ask for your vote. So basically, what this is they break it out in Delaware County. They break it. It's not at large. Some counties, they do it at large. In Delaware County, they break it out in the districts. So where you live for your commissioner district is the delegate district. And they have to take so many. I forget how many let me see how many delegates Delaware County has. How many state convention delegates Delaware County, Indiana have? Delaware County, Indiana State Convention delegate isn't a fixed number, but it depends on the specific party, Democrat, Republican, and the year's delegate allocation often plan. Okay, often tied to congressional commissioner districts for Republicans based on county commissioner districts like, okay. So I can't, I can't tell really what, oh, right here. All right, here we go. So in 2024, Delaware County had 28 districts. And so basically what that was the 28 delegates are broken up over the 3 commissioners races. And oftentimes you'll have less people go out than what they have. So like everybody who goes out for it will win. I think the last time there were more people that went out, and there are some always some really weird shakeups in who wins and who doesn't win. So it's not guaranteed that I'll win. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I certainly don't think that I will be at the top, but the goal would be to not be at the bottom, and that's what we'll do. So we will do everything that we can. And you don't need a notary, just ask Book Out. We'll do everything that we can to try to win a spot on the delegate list. And then what that does is that person goes down to the there are Republican delegates and Democrat delegates. And when we have the convention that will be held in June or July, then if I win, I will go down with the other handful of delegates, 28, 29, 25, whatever there are. And I will cast votes at the convention. Like, for example, the delegates were who voted in 2024 for Micah Beckwith. So that's what it'll be, Chris. The last election, they stacked them over the district, so Ed could push them all in that he wanted. I asked the chairman of the GOP, and he said he's going to keep them the same way. So yeah, it'll basically fall it'll fall the same way. So I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but we'll find out. We'll find out what they were, and as soon as I know, I will let you guys know what goes on with that. The delegate race occurs in the primary, so they're only the people that vote in the Republican side will vote for me. And I, of course, will ask all of you for your vote. Anyone that can vote for me in District 3, I'll keep you posted. We'll talk about this a lot more between now and then. And then there are a couple different things that I wanted to talk about, but we're just not getting too heavy because I know a lot of people are still doing the holiday thing, and we won't be doing anything real heavy between now and Sunday night. Our next, so we'll be here tomorrow, obviously. Let me tell you what we got going on. So I'll be here tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday, I guess. And then we'll decide on Tuesday if we're going to do a New Year's show or not. Maybe we'll do a ball drop. I don't know. I'll determine. Then be off Thursday. We'll be off Friday, be off Saturday, and then our next real show will be on Sunday the 4th, which will be our first show getting back into the swing of things before the Monday when all the meetings will be taking place. So that'll be the next real crazy show, and we'll be talking. Hopefully, we'll be talking about the stuff that Alva's been working on the 4th. I'll be talking about some craziness with Dustin Clark and all this crap about his grants that he's working on or not working on, or grants that he's not winning. And this thing that State Senator Scott Alexander said that he's been responsible for getting Muncie a bunch of grants. It's like, wait a minute here. Who's actually getting these grants? Is it Scott Alexander? If it is, what the hell are we paying Dustin for? If it's not Scott Alexander, why is he lying? And it's Dustin. If it's somebody else, if it's not Alexander, maybe we shouldn't reelect him. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of reasons not elect Scott Alexander, but that's just one of them. So there's a lot of things going on that we're working on and that we're bringing to you. And so we will obviously have that. I'm see what Catherine is sharing here. What are you sharing to me, Catherine? I've got several different things going on as far as Dustin's concerned, trying to track down what the hell it is that he's been actually doing. I'm looking. Catherine's sharing me some weirdness here. I'm trying to find out what it is. Okay, I don't know what this is. I still don't know what this is she's sending me. Okay, well, I'll have to figure out with that. I'm sure we'll have Catherine back on at some point. Maybe she can tell us the story behind whatever this weirdness is that she's sending. Let me see if we got a comment here. Weird. Oh, okay. Weirdness. So yeah, that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Hope you guys all had a good Christmas. Did you all have a good Christmas? Hope you did. I did. Santa Claus, me, brought me some amazing things. You know, who better to buy you a gift than yourself? Got me some things that I've been needing. Got my brother a really cool gift. And just been trying not to get sick. My grandparents have been trying to kill me from COVID to norovirus to the flu. It's like, Jesus, man. Quit trying so hard. Did you all hear about the weird news from Indianapolis where there was a fight between juveniles in the Castleton Square Mall, and people started saying that it was an active shooter situation, and then some news pages down in the Indianapolis area started running with it and posting that stay away from Indianapolis, it's an active shooter, which then caused more police to be sent down, which then caused more people to speculate about it being an active shooter. And by the time everything was said and done, it was just a fight between two kids. I mean, what the hell? You know, and that's why people give me such a hard time about like how I put things out or how not putting things out. And I'm like, first off, I don't need to be like, we break a lot of shit here just because it's the nature of what happens. But that's not what's important to me. I'm not like, if I don't break news, then breaking news is not what's important to me. It's the commentary on what's happening if it's something that in our wheelhouse. Now, you know, initially just thinking about a home invasion, that's like, yeah, it's not something that we talk about. Now, the major Second Amendment, and I really didn't even think about that as I was even starting. Thinking about the major Second Amendment implications that can be brought up in this case, this is definitely something that I'll pay attention to, and definitely something I think that we need to talk about, and you guys need to hear about, and you guys need to think what you thought, you know, think what you think about it, and we need to discuss and look. I'm sitting on the homeowner side at this point, you know. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but breaking news doesn't matter. But when you do the breaking news thing, you've got to be very careful that you're getting that from trusted sources with actual information, because all these news agencies that were breaking this story yesterday saying, oh, active shooter, they're saying, well, we're getting this from our sources. And people are like, what sources? And then these idiots were literally like sharing screenshots where they had seen, like, you know, someone's baby mama posted, hey, there's a active shooter. And it's like, that is your source. You can't go with that. That's nuts. And so, you got to be really careful about that. That's why when I'm wrong, I'm very careful to say, hey, we were wrong here. I think you can be wrong. We're human, but it's how you do it. And now these people that were saying this, and now that it's coming out that they weren't wrong, now they're like doubling down. It's real crazy what they're doing. So that shit's wild. So that's the reason I don't play around and all that. I'm not a journalist. If you want to call me along the bigger umbrella like media, that's fine. But I'm a commentator, and we'll stick in that world. So, trying to follow some of the claims, but the electric bill for the city is listed as 28 accounts. It doesn't break it down each specific address. Are you going to pay for? Are you paying? Oh yeah, I guarantee you we are. And that's the problem, because they even break it down like at City Hall by like office number, I think. Breaking it down by office number. So I'll take a look at that. I'm getting ready because the other thing people don't always know, when we go off, it's not like, well, the show's off and we're just here twiddling our thumbs. Once the show goes off, there's some after show stuff that we got to do, and we kind of set and debrief with Kate a minute, and then I've got to download it and kind of edit it and tweak it a little bit and get it over to the audio format and upload that. So there's work I got to do on the show right after the show. So it always takes me a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but as soon as I get done with all of that, I'm going to go into your messages that you've been sending me and take a look and start taking a look at that, Elvis. So keep up the good work, and I will get with you. I tell you what, can we do this? I've got something going on first thing in the morning tomorrow at like 9:00, and it will take like 20 minutes. Can you call me? Will you have time tomorrow in mid-morning at some point to call me, and we can talk, and we can talk as long as you need to talk. We can talk through everything. That way I'll have some time to look through everything, and then I'll be a little bit more knowledgeable by the time we talk. Are you available to call me, Alva, tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow like mid-morning or afternoon? I'm retired. Well, you call me on your schedule anytime after 9:30, and we'll be good to go. So anytime on your schedule after 9:30, you call me, and I'll be ready to rock and roll with you. So, all right. The rest of you, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday night. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:00. Take care. God bless. Have a good night, and goodbye.